In just the past few weeks, multiple foreign terrorist organizations have called for attacks against Americans and the West.
The FBI Director Wray nor the President have any idea whether or not there is somebody from Hamas roaming around the United States of America who could strike this kind of deadly attack on our own country.
All right, you notice a pattern here? More and more governors, and in fact, the governors of Oklahoma and Texas who were visiting Israel to warn us what's going on over there and the threat of terror over there is, in fact, likely to happen over here. Christopher Wray, the FBI director, saying as much just a few days earlier. Chris Swecker is the former FBI assistant director. Chris, good to have you. Are they right? Is it just a matter of time before we're dealing with what Israel's dealing with here?
Absolutely, Neil. I mean, this is the greatest terrorist threat to this country since the pre-9/11 run-up. And I think it's even more pronounced now because we have these conflicts, these cells in the United States. I mean, when I say cells, I mean Hezbollah and Hamas, but mostly Hezbollah have been around for a long, long time, raising money, committing crimes and raising money for Hezbollah. Those cells could quickly morph into violent cells. And with the southern border being as open as it is, we have no idea who's in this country. So it's a combination of what's going on in the Middle East, as well as that wide open southern border. We got to have a couple hundred FBI agents on that border trying to determine who's coming in. We have completely negated all the security steps that we took after 9/11 to keep terrorists out of this country.
So the fear is they're already here, Chris. And then the question becomes, the added inspiration of this Hamas activity against Israel started 4 weeks ago this very day. And I'm just wondering, because that's how Christopher Wray framed it, that they would take inspiration from that and follow up on that. In what way?
Clearly. I mean, we've seen this over the years where a lone terrorist hears the call. They operate semi-independently in the sense that they're not card-carrying Hezbollah or card-carrying Hamas or Al-Qaeda or ISIS. But then there's also the greater threat, I think, of organized terrorist activity in the U.S. Yes, these cells were already here, but there's even more flowing across our border every day without question. And we don't know where they are or who they are. If you're a terrorist, you're going to sneak across that southern border. You don't need to take a plane or use any other means to get into this country. And they can come in groups and cells. They often get mistaken for being Hispanic if they actually do go through a border crossing, but most of them don't. They go around the border crossings and come in illegally with the help of the cartels, which is another scary alliance.
We're waiting in the meantime, Chris, for Antony Blinken, our Secretary of State. He's meeting with a number of Arab leaders, his counterparts, foreign ministers from the likes of Jordan and Egypt, Saudi Arabia, what have you. When it comes to those representatives with whom he's chatting, to a man, they seem to be saying, go slow, Israel, cool it on what you're doing at the border. Yet we discover that Hamas wounded fighters are sneaking in on these ambulances and getting out of the country. So many of them might have already left the country. And then it begs the question, to do what?
To do bad things. I mean, I was the FBI's on-scene commander in Iraq, and we were investigating bombings throughout the theater, targeting civilians primarily. And the hand of Iran was all over these bombings. And when you see what 500 pounds of high explosives and what that can do, it wakes you up to the level of commitment, because that suicide bomber is planning on going out himself as well. I saw him bomb a Red Cross and other facilities, the UN. There are no boundaries for these people, and they are dedicated to destroying the Western civilization as we know it. So you know, they're in it for the long haul, and you can't. I guess the point being, Neil, you can't trust them. No matter what they say, you cannot trust them.
In the meantime, we have this policy of going after and beefing up our troop presence, I believe mostly in Syria. I think we're up to 1,200 troops, if memory serves me right, Chris. And it's meant to attack these Iranian-funded proxies that have been behind 28, 29 attacks over the last couple of weeks. But as I mentioned with a couple of other guests, Chris, never Iran itself. And the fear is obviously, you go after Iran itself, the war has expanded dramatically. But Iran's already doing that, and Iran is already anticipating our reticence to expand. So they keep doing that. So what's the answer?
Yeah, I mean, it's my belief that Iran already has nuclear capabilities, and they've been lying to us all along. So we're dealing with a nuclear power here. So I can understand why we're going to hit the proxies, why we're going to nibble around the edges. But I don't think that Iran understands that. When Trump hit Soleimani, that sent the right message, and I think we need to take those types of measures that are dramatic, not just as I said, nibbling around the edges of it. We need to send a clear message. We don't have to evade Iran. We don't have to do what we did in Iraq and Afghanistan, but we need to hit some really high-value targets, even if they are in Iran, because they know they don't have the capability to go up against the United States. We still are the world's greatest military power, but we have to send a clear, dramatic message, much like the Soleimani hit.
Chris, thank you very much. Chris Swecker, the former FBI assistant director. He's been in harm's way all his life dealing with this and seeing it firsthand.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.